Trump once said if he could shoot a person in the middle of the street and people would still vote for him. And the way people are supporting him with the release of these Epstein files and the implication that comes with the release is that he knew what was going on, and although there's no evidence of him actually doing wrongdoing, there is a lot of accusation of him doing some nasty stuff to minors. So the evidence is there. This where there's smoke, there's fire. This gentleman was is not is not an angel. I think that's clear for the world to see. He slept with a porn star while his wife was pregnant. He has a lot of moral failings that are pretty obvious. But it's interesting that even with the most grievous of accusations, he has a lot of supporters still. There are a lot of people who defend him and say, no, it's just accusations. There's no evidence. They actually want to see a full on video on Pornhub to actually believe that something is wrong with their dear leader. And this speaks to something deep in the human psyche, something that yearns for leadership, something that really uh, creates that environment of cult of personality. And I think definitely now, I'm sure that the MAGA following is a cult. Because if the obvious is in front of you and you cannot believe it, and you still feel like, no, this is a hoax, this is a conspiracy, people are lying, this is my leader, I will follow him to the end, something is wrong with your thought processes. This happens even outside of politics with pastors. I know African pastors who have raped their. Uh, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that word here. I think you're supposed to say raped or something like that. We have assaulted their followers because of false promises of heaven, false promises of atonement. I heard one story where the pastor was saying that he could cure the the member of the congregation's infertility by putting um, some anointed oil inside their vajayjay. So he had to insert it using his own appendage, and the the congregate member obliged him, and he did this with several of them. So this is this is similar. This is similar. This is a similar situation with the MAGA congregation, because they are so steeped in the belief that Trump is their savior, Trump is their leader, Trump is the one who's going to fix everything in their lives, that they cannot see what is in front of them. They are blinded by their following, their blind faith in someone who is very clearly a flawed individual. Now, to say Trump is the most flawed president America has ever had, it's not a stretch, because America has had some pretty flawed people as leaders, but I don't think none come um, as clear cut in flawedness as Trump, because he's blatant, and that is part of his appeal, because people like the change in rhetoric from the corporate diplomatic approach that was taken by previous leaders. So it was kind of refreshing at first when you find someone who is crass, willing to swear, willing to step out of that cavalier of, or that veneer of political correctness. So that was appealing at first, but and that made people overlook his very blatant moral failings. So so deep is that adoration that even now, with evidence being put forward of pictures, of emails, of several mentions, of several accusations of the dear leader's transgression, sexual transgressions, which are, I think, at the bottom of the barrel in terms of crimes a human being can ever make, they still can't believe it. They're still blinded by that obvious moral failing. In a normal country, you would be impeached. In Japan, that is grounds for taking the sword to yourself. That is grounds for immediate impeachment, not to mention a judicial inquiry. Um, so this is weird to me. It's very interesting, and it's weird because we live in a time where transparency has never been more available to the public, because of social media, because of cell phones, because of recordings, technology. The camera has allowed people to peer into what was hidden before. So it's clear, but now people are just even more blind. You know, they're even more. They're refusing now. It's now like a refusal to believe your own eyes. It's like, I will not believe what my eyes are telling me. You present emails, say, look at this. No, I don't want to believe it. You present video evidence. Look at this. I don't want to believe it. Sworn testimonies of people speaking under the threat of arrest for perjury, saying that this person did this to me, and not only one person, but hundreds of people saying that, but no one wants to believe it. So what else is left? This really black pills a lot of people. This really can drive you to nihilism, because you're like, okay, you don't want to be helped. You don't want a better world. Are we all striving for a better world, or are we just at the mercy of staying in our own echo chambers and just believing what we want to believe? We don't want to step out of our comfort zone. Whatever you believe, whether you are left or right, people don't want to leave their ideas and explore the possibility of them being wrong. They don't want that, because that creates an uncomfortable dissonance. It it makes you uh, tremble, because you're so used to the warmth and comfort of your own ideas, your deep set ideas. So it's uncomfortable being in the cold, in the environment of uncertainty. So I don't know. How do you convince people to leave their set ways? How do you convince people to try new ideas? How do you convince people to 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 leave what they think is a truth and enter into another domain which they may not think is the truth, but to at least stay there enough for them to explore. People don't want to do that. People are so set in their ways that I think it's almost impossible. I think also it's an age thing because definitely when you're younger, you're more prone to accepting new ideas. But as you grow older, you don't have the mental energy and you have so much hard wiring in your mind that you find it difficult to divulge from what you're used to. So I think also that would mean that ultimately it's up to the next generation. It's up to the schools. It's up to the younger people to attempt to uh, discuss these ideas because the older folks they will just stay in their ways because this is weird to me. This is very weird. I think also I myself um I'm not like that. I'm very much in the middle. I'm very much a moderate politically. I'm willing to listen to both sides, but of course there are some ideas that are too far out there for me to really give much thought. Like if a flat earther came to me and tried to convince me that the earth is flat, I will listen to them, but I will also see a lot of the flaws in their argument and uh, ultimately decide my time is not worth discussing this much of a flawed argument. So ultimately, I don't know. It's it's a dangerous path that we're on.